Senator Fadanusi said something yesterday, and then honestly, I really did not believe the headline when I saw it at first. I had to go watch the video myself. Unfortunately, we cannot play the video because it's spoken Yoruba, and it said, if you see them, kill them. And that same day, yesterday, I followed the story because, I mean, election is in a few days. It was on national TV, and then he said, I didn't mean it that way. I only said kill them with votes.
What he said wasn't just about votes. It was basically about tension. It was about killing people. Because he said, how many APC people have killed someone? You know, it's like our people are the ones they are killing. That was the statement he made. So that forms a basis for kill them when you see them around here. It wasn't a thing of joy. It wasn't a thing of just saying kill them with votes. He meant what he said.
And then, I mean, for anybody, you don't even have to understand core Yoruba before you can tell that. I mean, that's another different thing entirely. And so Nigerians are asking, has he got into this? Is election, is he a do or die affair? Is he war now? Because, I mean, saying something like that and going on national TV maybe a few hours later to say, I only meant kill them with vote, not violence. But it's a serious problem in this country, and then it should not be taken lightly. And also, I think I watched a video where the governor also called for his arrest to say something like that should not, go unpunished or something like that. And then I think the Osun police already summoned him to come and, speak to the issue and then, say certain things about what happened. And I remember even the interviewer yesterday was asking him, Senator, is it possible that, it's a mistake? Because people make mistakes. I remember during the Ondo State election, I think in 2024, APC was having their campaign rally, and the member of the APC was trying to just, celebrate the crowd, and he said PDP, and then the whole crowd was looking at him, what's going on here? We are here for APC, and later he had to switch APC, and then people felt, okay, maybe it's a mistake. So people can make mistakes, but then the elderly people will say words can be likened to X. Once it drops, that's the end of it. So you can try to say, oh, I didn't say it that way, I didn't mean it that way, but then the deed has been done already. However, it would have been better for him to say, oh, I made a mistake with that statement yesterday on national TV, and say, I'm so sorry, apologies to the governor, apologies, to the entire state, and apologies to Nigerians themselves. But then he said, oh, I didn't mean it that way, I only said kill them with votes, and then we are still on the matter now. So the police is on top of the matter now. I just want to believe that they'll be able to, do the right thing with this particular case. And at the end of the day, I think Nigerians deserve an apology on this matter. No one should say that, not even in Nigeria. And I remember, Trump came and said to us a few months back and said Nigeria is a country of particular concern. These are the issues, because, I mean, if you look at certain things that are happening in the country, people don't do the right thing, and it's a problem.
Oh, well, I just, in my own opinion, I think Senator Fadanusi is just not the only person who has the same mentality. I think quite a number of persons as well, just that they never gotten a chance to probably say it out. Because I know this is the way it is when it comes to politics in the country. This kind of conversation should not be had, especially coming from Senator Fadanusi. And for some reason, maybe one out, I'll spell it out. He is a lawmaker, right, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So how do we now reconcile a lawmaker acting like a lawbreaker or saying things that can incite violence in the country, especially when the political tension in that particular state is this tense? So there are questions really on the table of whoever is going to do this investigation or whoever is going to prosecute this matter. It is very important because this will become a norm, or it can come to an end if they do what is right. So whichever way, whatever comes out of this is going to set a template for what someone might say next. Because when it was asked, I was also trying to listen to him. I was reading the room and trying to see why he said what he said. And when he was even given a chance to revert, he did not. He still went on to say. So I see ego, which is okay, except that it's not okay to incite violence. You can have ego as long as it doesn't incite violence in the country. And I think that's one of the conversations. That's why many persons are saying there should be an arrest for this situation. We cannot sit down while this kind of statement is being made. And so maybe the question will now go back to the ruling administration of the APC now, maybe the president, as it were, to find something to do about this issue, particularly, especially, we need to preach peace during elections. We've seen a lot of people, and so if he wants to come and say, he's saying kill them with votes, why did you not say kill them with votes when he was speaking to the people? He said, if we find them here, and then the context, if you are a person who likes context, pretext, and maybe post-text, you discover what he said wasn't just about votes. It was basically about tension. It was about killing people. Because he said, how many APC people have killed someone. It's like our people are the ones they are killing. That was the statement he made. So that forms a basis for kill them when you see them around here. It wasn't a thing of joy. It wasn't a thing of just saying kill them with votes. He meant what he said. And of course, if except you want to politicize this issue and maybe just sweep it under the carpet or rug, this is unacceptable in a country of ours. I mean, just recently, to somewhere in the north, one of the clerics also made mention of something that is really, really it's an aberration. You would not say such a thing. And then, so everybody's still asking questions. Where's the president in all of this? When you say that a particular sect of religion is supposed to move out of a country just because if they don't agree with what you're doing, be the Muslim ticket, and I'm waiting for the president to speak over this issue, right? This might not be a president issue, right? But I think it's an issue that even the president should be interested in, because you understand that your reputation is at stake. Every other person in the law, well, let's just say all the lawmakers generally, in the Senate House, in the House of Representatives, I think they should look into this sense. We can have such statement coming from someone who is a political figure, one, who is also maybe an elder statesman, and who is also an influential person. What influence means is that influence can make a lot of persons to go, like they can go haywire and start doing every issue, everything that you not even tell them. There's something called unintended consequence, right? That's why leaders are expected to be very good communicators, to know you say what you say and you mean what you say, because every word you say that does not really go well with the people can mean something else. That's why I think it's very important that we not just, I think we can educate Senator Fadanusi. It's someone who educates the public. He's a lawmaker for all I care. He knows what the law requests or demands in this kind of issue, and he should not make such a statement, especially now when we are closer to election. So who knows what's going to be said next by who come 2027 general elections now, except that they prosecute this issue, look into it, and maybe, I don't know if it's a public apology, if it's writing to the press, if whatever the case is, this statement should be revoked, and this statement should not be acceptable by anybody, because it is not the standard we want to live by in the country Nigeria.
Exactly. Just like you mentioned, and I think I also mentioned it as well, Nigerians deserve an apology. And one more thing that I noticed is that, I don't know, some Nigerians, they enable some, terrible, acts. And this is why I'm saying this. When I watched the video, immediately he said that, some persons were trying to cheer him on, to say, oh, and I'm like, oh, what is going on here? And it's a terrible situation when somebody is doing something that is bad, but then there are supporters who are saying, okay, well done, well said, it's a problem. One more thing is the fact that what is going on in Osun State is really terrible. And I'm talking about the activities even before today, even before this week. According to APC now, I think Mr. Oyetola himself, I watched a video, I think on Sunday, and he was saying, members of the APC are being killed on a daily basis and things like that. I listened to the governor, that's Governor Adeleke, yesterday. I think he had a conversation with some journalists yesterday, and then he was saying that members of our court party are being killed as well. So who should we believe in this situation? Does it mean that these people are trying to kill each other? Because it's a problem, because people are listening, people are watching. Another thing is, the governor also mentioned that some accord members have been arrested for days, for weeks, languishing, in jail, and it's a problem. I think it's something that the president should also look at. So these people, they are trading blame, so you are responsible for this and that. There was even a time that Oyetola responded to Adeleke and said, even if Adeleke's wife decides to bring him food late, he's going to call my name Oyetola. Even if any other thing happens, he's going to call my name Oyetola. So it's becoming, I don't know, a sort of back and forth between both of them. And Oyetola is not even on the ballot, But then he has a candidate that is trying to push, for the people. So in the election, or let me say politics, should not be a do or die affair. And I know that it didn't start today. Years ago, 20, 30 years ago, we've seen similar situation where people, we kill each other. He also mentioned the fact that some persons are trying to destroy his banners. How did we get here? And this is not new in this country, Nigeria. So these are certain things that we really should talk about. When it comes to election, when it comes to politics, you don't have to kill people. You don't have to destroy banners when you know that you have what it takes to win. Why should you do something, that can sabotage the other candidates? If you are so sure of yourself that I can win this election, if you are sure of yourself, why should you do things to sabotage the other person? Well, just go to the polls and then allow people to vote, because at the end of the day, the power belongs to the people. And that's why that definition of democracy, it doesn't sit well with me these days. When we say democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, but we are not saying that. It's become a tissue paper definition. We are not saying it in practice, and it's a problem. So if you don't deal with something like this, imagine, I never thought Osun State, election will be this serious, honestly. Because I mean, we've never had it this serious in this country before, so it's a problem. I know Osho is a particular state. I mean, Osho is a peculiar state rather, but then it should not have gotten to this point. Why should people be arrested? If I thought they were arrested, speak to them, find out, why they were arrested. What are they doing? Are they doing something illegal? There should be a proper investigation. Do not just keep people in jail for any reason. You are not supposed to use the police or maybe any other security operative to your own advantage. It's not accepted in Nigeria. And then I think this is, a wake-up call to the security operatives, even to the INEC themselves before the election. They see a few days. Thank God this happened before the election. They need to make sure that they fix everything they need to fix before the election in terms of security, in terms of ballot papers. We don't want to see cases where somebody will come and snatch ballot papers on the election. We see it happen all the time, especially even there was an election we had in Oyo State, I think the governorship election, or maybe I think House of Reps or something. People snatch ballot boxes, and then you see professors actually helping people to rig election. In a country like Nigeria, is really a professor. What are you professing? Because really, we need to ask that question. Many of them were actually arrested in the last election. Presidential election, a professor caught. Imagine, what are you going to tell your student when you get to class the next day or the next week? It doesn't make any sense. So these are the things we need to look at, basically.
I think this is not even up to what some person said some years. I was trying to check into history, and I saw some did not even make this explicit. They just said it implicitly that if they don't win, there's going to be violence, but they did not put it this way. But for a senator now to come out to say that after knowing everything that's happened in the country, after seeing a lot of persons that have been killed, even by your party, you call them your people. But if you really care about the people, you should stop violence. If you really are concerned about what the people with you, or because at the end of the day, then when they say that when two elephants fight, it's the grass that's going to suffer. The people who are going to bear the brunt of this are the people who probably are just following you full hard. I mean, I saw the videos yesterday too. I saw the way some of them were chanting on to say, yes, that's a statement. Yes, that's what we do, and you want to say it. So for even this, if the senator comes out to say it's reverting the statement now, I think one of the things that is likely to happen is some people would like to hear the word go and would never get the word come, because once you say it, you are a person of influence. If people know how powerful influence is, people don't say things. Influential people don't say things before people do it. They just act it, or sometimes they just imply it, and everybody goes to say, oh yeah, this is what we're doing. We're going to war because someone said this. So if leaders are going to continue this way in this country, I wonder what kind of leaders we're raising, really. I wonder what kind of leaders are at the helm of affairs. I wonder what kind of leaders we are entrusting our votes to, really, to have these kind of people who would not care if lives are lost, who would not care whose ox is gored in every situation. So if it has to be that you want to do politics and it has to be a do or die affair and people have to die, I'm sorry, but let it be your own family members who will die, not the people that are just, I understand the whole issue of the political thuggery thing and how that they have politicized and weaponized poverty to a point where people now depend on them for 5,000, for 10,000, for 20,000 just to follow them with cutlass, with guns and all of that. I know that is a thing. But I also know that if we have to consider the future of Nigeria, we cannot continue this way. The only and the right way to go is that this kind of issue be brought to a total halt. We want prosecution. And this is not just me calling for, we want the law to take its full course. If you do the crime, you should do the time. That's one thing we're asking. We're not asking for too much. You can't make such statement at a very dicey period like this. The elections are just a few days away, and you're making such a statement. And this is not even about Adeleke. This is not about anybody supporting Adeleke. It's just the basic. If you are found wanting in this way, if you have wronged, then you should apologize. If you apologize, then maybe there should be a prosecution so that you know that next time you don't make this kind of public statement when the elections are near. Even when elections are not there, you don't have to make statements that can cost the life of another person. And that, I think, is not too much to ask of the federal government and maybe every other concerned stakeholder in this issue.
Exactly. And just to conclude this morning, this one is, to the people of Osun State. If you take 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira to vote for anybody, don't worry, you'll bear the consequences for 4 years. They don't need to preach that one to anybody again. So it's left to them to choose the right person, for that position. And of course, you have to, weigh your options and then look at, what you need to look at before you vote for somebody. So, good luck to the people of Osun State, because I remember on those state elections, I think I love to make references because it happened recently and I happened to be part of it. There was a situation where a woman voted, and after the election, people recorded her, and she was like, we've collected money, we voted, and then we are able to cook soup. She said it in Yoruba, at Igbowo Adeti Sebe, and it's terrible. And then millions of people watch that video. So it's left to the people now. And people also talk about the ISP that who can pay more than 10,000, who can pay 5,000. If you collect any amount of money, you will bear the consequences for 4 years. I don't know. I think it's a fine place to leave the discussion this morning. We take a short break. And when we come back, we move on to newspaper headlines and analysis. We'll be right back.
From the heart of the action, welcome to the nerve center of Next Level Broadcasting.
This is the OB van, where the studio meets the street.
Equipped with cutting-edge cameras, crystal clear audio, real-time switching, and broadcast control, we don't just capture moments, we deliver the experience live.
Anywhere, anytime, from stadiums to red carpets, breaking news to buzzing festivals, weddings, birthdays, and all sorts of ceremonies. We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live? Like never before. Book the OB van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram @Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.